All right, thanks, Ashley. It may seem like summer just got started, but in a few weeks, kids will be heading back to school and many will be returning to work in person. Get this, for the first time since before the pandemic. Here to talk about the anxiety this may cause is Jessica Collins, Director of Behavioral Health at the Hospital of Central Connecticut and Midstate Medical Center. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. It's so important. So what are some of the anxieties that adults may have about returning to the office?
Yeah, so this has been identified as re-entry anxiety. It's really a general anxiety and fear around returning, re-entering a workplace that has probably changed drastically in the past 18 months. There's anxieties around safety, social interactions, increased workload, changes in pace. There's also fear of change, similar to what we all experienced when we went to remote work at the start of this pandemic. We're now fearful of the change to back to work in person and potentially losing that slower pace, more flexible lifestyle we may have had.
I know with us here on the news set, when we got standing closer together again, it felt really weird at first, but now we're back to normal. All right, let's talk about students. How will they mentally process the return to the classroom?
Yeah, our children and we as parents, we have to be brave to re-enter the social settings that we've grown distant from. It's like any other muscle that we have in our body. When we don't use it, we have to rebuild it. So we should be prepared and prepare our children to have some expected delays in learning or some changes in their social skill set that may have been lost during the pandemic, and recognizing that this is completely normal and feasible to catch up on. There'll be a wide array of emotions that the kids are going to experience, as well as us as parents, including anxiety, fear, excitement, and maybe even some ambivalence. I think all of these emotions are very normal, and it may fluctuate day to day, hour to hour, and all we can do is be there to listen and support.
All right, talk about some of the tools for coping with the return to the office or classroom.
So similar to transitioning to home of the pandemic, creating a routine that works for you and your family to set expectations throughout your day is very important. In addition, really important right now is evaluating any change that you have made to your life during the pandemic that made your life better, and how can you maintain that during this transition back. Most importantly, talking and sharing. You're not returning to work alone. Find supports with your coworkers, your family, your peers. Normalize those feelings and experiences, and it can really make the entire process feel a little less stressful and more bearable.
All right, and finally, talk about an upcoming webinar that you're having.
Yes, so I'll be speaking more to this in detail on August 3rd at noon. It's a deeper look at the emotions and expectations of re-entering our world post-pandemic for both ourselves and our students, and how to best cope and prepare for yourself and your family.
And Jessica, what would you tell parents to say to their children who may be worried about going back to school in the fall? Maybe it's 5 days instead of 2 days.
Yeah, I think we're in this together, and that we're there to support you, and having that open dialogue before school, at the dinner table, and preparing for it as a family is really the best thing we can do.
All right, Jessica Collins with Hartford Healthcare, thank you so much for joining us. Great information on how to use our toolbox to re-enter society after this long pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you.